Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Kashif Kamran and welcome to the first episode of Perspective. And this perspective is taking place right after the ACCA March 2025 exam results are announced. And in this very first episode today, I'm investigating a failure in the bracket of 40 to 49 marks in the AAA paper, the frequently asked questions from the student and the way forward. Let's open the first episode. Now, first of all, I'll be looking at the frequently asked questions from student ever since the ACCA March 25 exam results are out, and students filling in the bracket of 40 to 49. The very first question is why I failed in 40s, despite the fact that my paper went good and I was fully prepared. And I'll be giving you answers of each question shortly. The second question, which came from the student, was should I go for the administrative review? Third, should I change my paper? Should I change my optional paper? That is the AAA paper. Number fourth, should I give the AAA paper immediately in the June 25 exam sitting because I failed in the paper in 40s? Or should I wait for September? I was preparing for another paper when the result came out. Should I give it and defer the one I failed or give both? So I was preparing for a paper when the result came out. So should I go ahead with that paper and defer the AAA to September? Should I give both the one I was preparing and the AAA paper? What should I do? The next question, what strategy should I adopt for the next exam sitting? And how should I prepare now, considering my failure in 40s? Now, these are the frequently asked questions which came to me. And the very first one where I need to give you the answer is why I failed in 40s, despite the fact my paper went good and I was fully prepared. Now, I understand whenever the result is out, the first 48 hours or the first 72 hours or the first 4 days post result, it's very difficult to come out of the shock when you fail in 40s. And considering you had an assumption that you will pass. Now, we know most of the time the student assumptions that they will pass is based upon optimism. And that's the only area where the student demonstrate optimism. Now, there must be something which went wrong in your exam. That's the only reason you failed into 40s. You need to realize, you need to look into the bigger picture that you lost substantial number of marks if you failed into 40s. Look at the other side. Look at the side where you lost the marks. There are more than 50 marks you lost. So that means there was something wrong in your paper. Now you are the best judge of it because you were sitting in the exam environment. You sat there for 195 minutes. You read the paper, you planned the paper, you attempted the paper. Was there any requirement which you didn't understand? Was there a requirement in which you struggled? Was there any time management issues in your real exam? Did you struggle to complete the paper? Did you rush in section B because you put a lot of time in section A in the first 50 marks question? Uh, did you compromise the quality of the last question you were attempting when the time got up? So you need to ask questions to yourself because you are the best judge of what went wrong. Was there a challenging topic? Was there a topic in the exam for which you were not well prepared? Because these are possibilities where your marks went down and you failed. Secondly, the more generic reasons why you failed is that despite the fact you thought you will pass and you didn't, uh, there must be issues with how you write an answer, which are journal problems in AAA. Like we need to have a very well developed point in AAA. You're not developing the point well, or you're not writing in the depth required, particularly for business risk, for risk of material misstatement, particularly for justifying why the risk you have identified is a significant risk. We normally lack depth in the question number one But you all have to do that within the time management, because the second journal issue why you fail is that you're not completing the paper. So depth is one aspect, time management is another aspect, and the best depth is what you write within time. The second issue is that you write very generic. You're not linking things to the case study. You're not absorbing the case study in your answer. There is something wrong in that approach. Either you're not absorbing the case, you're not bringing the case to your answer, or your answer is like at a distance from the case study or the picture presented to you in the case study, and you're writing something journal just to impress yourself, just to satisfy yourself that I'm writing and the marker will be very happy with me, but the marker is not getting impressed with you. And the last, third journal reason why you fail is that you failed to demonstrate the professional skill marks. You were weak in the application of the skepticism skill, in the analysis skill, in the judgment skill, in the commercial acumen. Either you were not aware of how to do it, either you did not bothered about demonstrating them, you did not emphasized on areas where you could have scored good marks just by demonstrating your skeptical mindset, your analysis skill, your judgment skill, your evaluation skill, your commercial acumen, and more important, your communication skill in the question number one. So these are journal reasons where investigation can be broadened up, and you can investigate why you failed. So now the result is out. It's been over a week since results are out when I'm doing this session. So by this point in time, you must have investigated why you failed. So you have failed because it was your optimism you will pass, but you did something wrong in the paper. So try to investigate that and try to move on for the next exam sitting, June 25 or September 25. If you need any further guidance, I'm available as a tutor. You can reach me anytime on my WhatsApp. Second question. Should I go for administrative review? Not at all. My answer to this question always is a big no. I believe it's a waste of resource. It's a waste of financial resource. You should put your efforts in preparing for the next exam setting. I've rarely seen uh, things changing for you in administrative review over my 17 years of teaching experience and career. So in terms of that experience, my answer to this question is no. Accept your failure, absorb your failure, save your money for the next exam sitting rather than spending it on the administrative review, and go prepare for the next exam sitting, and you will be successful. The third question, should I change my AAA to another optional paper? We know AAA is an optional paper. You choose it, but for some reason you're struggling to pass it. And this question normally comes from the student who are failing this paper for the last 3 sittings, 4 sittings, 5 sittings, 6 sittings, even 10 sittings. I've seen a student in the March 25 exam. He was enrolled with me and he passed the AAA paper in the 10th sitting. And I had a chance to communicate with him, and I knew him as a student. And I knew he was struggling to pass the paper because when he took the admission, he told me the story. And when he passed, he messaged me that, sir, I passed and I got 52 marks, and this was my 10th sitting. Now, see the commitment, see the determination, see how he kept going with the AAA paper because he chose that paper and he know that I need to go only with this paper for my career perspective. And he stick to that. He didn't thought after 3 sittings or 4 sittings that I should change the paper. Because honestly, when a student comes to me and asks me that it's been my third sitting or fourth and fifth, and I want to change my AAA paper, I normally recommend the student no, particularly when you're scoring into 40s. If you're scoring into 40s and you are failing and failing and failing, that means there is something wrong in your approach. You're good on the technical side. You know the syllabus area A, B, C, D, E, F. You're you sound technically, but you're weak on the side of application. You're weak on the side of writing, drafting. There's something wrong the way you're writing the answer, either because you're not getting your paper checked from your tutor from an expert tutor. You are not bothering writing the answers and getting a feedback on your answers on many questions you're doing. And that's where the problem is developing for you. But change of paper, not at all, because you've invested in the paper for 3 sittings, 4 sittings, 5 sittings. You know the temperament of the paper. You know the structure of the paper. You know the technical content of the paper. It's just about giving the right approach. It's just about finding the right approach in a consultation with your tutor, or approaching your tutor, consulting with him, finding the right approach, and going and doing your best in the next upcoming exam sitting, and you will pass. So change of paper, not at all. The next question, a bit lengthier one. The student approach and ask, should I give the AAA in the next sitting, June 25, or should I wait for September 25? Because when I got my March results for AAA and I failed, I was already preparing for another exam for June, might be AFM, ATX, or SPL when I got the results. And by the time I got the result, I was already done 30 to 40% of the other paper. So should I give that paper I was preparing for, or and defer the one I failed, or should I give both? That means, should I give AAA paper and the one I was preparing for, or should I defer the AAA paper to the next sitting and give the one I was preparing, or should I give the AAA paper in June and defer the one I was preparing? So there could be lots of possible outcomes here. Now let's go one by one. If you failed into 40s, which is known as a good failure, then my advice is that you should go immediately for June. By the change of approach, which I will be guiding you shortly, by the change of your strategy, which I will be guiding you shortly, you should go for the June exams, because when you fail in 40s, you just need a fine tuning. You just need to change your approach and follow the steps which I will be guiding you shortly. Just stick to that and you go for the June exam sittings, because you don't need to go back to the books and the technical content. You just need to spend time on practice and the way I will be guiding you how you should be doing practice, and you will pass. So in terms of the effort, you are putting very less effort to the AAA paper for the June exam, and yet you will be passing. Now, the paper you were preparing for when the result came out might be SPL, or might be AFM, or might be ATX, or whatever. Now, go with it if you have already prepared for it like 50% or more, and you think you are going good, you are going sound, go with it, because that paper you are preparing is one full paper. And the AAA you are repeating is not even half a paper, because you just need to do past papers. So even if you allocate 1 day a week to AAA, and you give one full Saturday or one full Sunday to AAA, and rest of the time you can give to the other paper you were preparing, you're going fine. So to me, if you failed in 40s, you should go immediately for the next exam sitting in June with the paper you were doing. Yes, if you have any financial constraints or you have any job challenges and you can only give one paper, then I would prefer that you give the AAA in June and defer the one you were preparing to September. So these are possible answers to possible equations the student do ask when the result came out. What strategy should I adopt for the next AAA exam in June? How should I prepare now? Now you failed into 40s. Your first question was why I failed, because that's quite realistic. In the first 72 hours post result, that's quite a realistic question why I failed. Gradually, slowly and gradually, you start to realize why you failed. And by this point in time, now it's been a week since results are announced, you must have identified or absorbed the failure, and you must have decided the way forward, because eventually you have to pass and get hold of the ACCA qualification. Now, what sort of an approach you should be taking on if you failed into 40s for the next exam sitting? Strategy for the next sitting. The first part, ask yourself, because that's very important. Self-evaluation, it's critical. As a student, sit down for the next 24 hours, talk to yourself. Ask yourself how much practice I did for my last sitting, honestly, and how many papers you did. And did you spend time on recent papers? Because to me, quality is more important than quantity. And students don't realize that. The student runs after quantity. They runs after doing every single paper in the revision kit. They run after doing every single paper they have on ACCA Study Hub. They're not focusing on quality. They're not focusing on what is coming in the recent exam papers, how things have changed in AAA since September 22 exam, particularly in the question number one, particularly in the topic around quality management, particularly around sustainability area, which has come into the AAA paper. Then they're unaware of that because they're doing old papers, lots of papers, and they're losing focus. Number two, ask yourself, did I spend time on recent papers when last time I was preparing for the March exam? And I'll be giving you a definition of the recent papers. Did I solve the recent six papers under time management? That's very important. Recent six papers, they start from September 22. And we know September 22 was an exam setting from where the question one changed. September 22, right up to December 24 exam, which is the latest one available on the ACCA practice platform, September, December 24. So you go with September 22 up to December 24, they become six papers, all under time management. Now, this is the definition of quality. This is the definition of quality practice. This is a definition of knowing what's going in your examiner mindset recently. The more recent papers you do, the better you are for the June 25 exams. Time management. Have you done these paper under time management? Did you kept a timer? Did you stop when the time was up? Did you check how much percentage of the paper I managed to complete? One, two, three, four, five, six. Did improvement came in? Because again, I'm repeating my point that the depth of the answer and how much you should write is versus time. So how much I can write in 100 minutes, how much I can write in 50 minutes. That is the definition of the best answer. Now, if I have 95 or 95 minutes for my first question, what can I write in 95 minutes is the best depth of the question one answer. Not what I write in 120 minutes, 130 minutes, because that's where I'm compromising my section B. Number fourth, did I read examiner reports and give sufficient time and weightage to them in my preparation? I think no, because most of the time students don't bother about reading it or even giving weightage to it in their preparation for AAA paper. That's an irony of it. That's something I don't like among students, that even the giving the AAA paper either for the first time or repeating it, they're not putting the right emphasis or they're not putting the right focus on the examiner reports which they should be given. And I'll be guiding you shortly about what is the right way to go into the examiner report and how the examiner report can bring remarkable change. Just wait for 5 minutes and I'll be giving you a guidance on that. Did I attempted the ACCA mock for March? Did I got my mock check from an expert tutor? Did I got feedback on the mock? Uh, that's very important. And time management. Did I got my answers in mock reviewed from my tutor and how many? What actually went wrong on the day of exam? You are the best judge of that. What went wrong? Was there a challenging requirement, a difficult requirement, something you didn't know? You came in time management panic. You rush on section B, you compromise section B, you missed a question, you missed a part of a question, you wrote too much in the question number one. You are the best judge of that. So ask yourself these questions on your screen 7 and try to find the answer before you sit down, devise a strategy for the next exam sitting. Now, after asking yourself, you have to put a plan to prepare for June. And this is what my plan should look like. Strategy. Number one, two latest examiner reports with a red and blue analysis. Download two latest examiner reports. One is March, June 24, and one is September, December 24. Download them, take a printout, hard copy. Sit down, take a red pen, right? Take a blue pen. Sit down with a printout. Start reading the examiner report. You will get some journal comments, then you will get comments for question 1, 2, and 3. Give like 90 minutes to 120 minutes to one examiner report. Read it like a story at any point of the day when you can give 120 minutes. Just sit down, relax, uh, and just read it like a story, keeping a red and blue pen with you. Wherever you find examiner getting annoyed with something, he's not liking something, he's criticizing something, he's talking about weaker students, he's talking about issues, he's talking about that I didn't like something. Keep underlining that in red and number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On the vice versa, right across the report, you will find examiner giving some advices, some examples of how you can write a good answer, explaining that this is the way it should have been written, giving you some advices for future, talking about stronger candidates. Keep underlining that in blue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you read with the report. Now, once the report is read, you will see a lot of annotation in the report, red and blue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take a plain paper, take a plain paper or a lined paper as you may wish, just like this. Take it, fold it, fold it into two parts, and write on the one side write criticism, and on the one side write advices. Criticism in red and advices in blue. Now make a summary. Whatever criticism you got from the examiner report underlined in red 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever, just make a summary of that in the column 1 in the red pen. And on the column on the left, blue advices. How many advices you got, how many suggestions you got from the examiner to improve, write them in blue. And this one paper becomes a summary of criticism and advices. September, December 24 examiner report over. In the same way, do the March, June 24 examiner report. And at the end of that, make a one-page summary. So you will have 2 pages, one for September, December 24, one for March, June 24. That ends the story. Now, read it. The summary you made of the red and blue of the criticism and advice, read it and relate it with yourself. Ask yourself that the criticism I identified and I wrote, how much of that criticism relates with me? How much of that criticism relates with why I failed in 40s, despite I was so well prepared? You will get your answer. This is the answer. If you even find from the reds, suppose you wrote 20 points in reds, and you found 3 which relates with you and you circled them. Okay, this is what I did. This is what I did. This is what I did. Even if you find 3 out of 20, you found your 3 marks. And then you go on the side of advices. Look at the advice the examining team is given that students should do this, they should write like this, they should draft like this. And you say, oh, I was not writing like this. I was not doing this. I should do it in my next sitting. Circle that. Now you're getting extra marks. So the number of circles you do from the red side and the blue side means you're gaining marks. And you do it for the March, June, and September, December 24. Now, uh, this exercise might take 3 to 4 days because you will download the reports, read them, make a summary, then read them again and absorb them and ask a question where I went wrong and try to find those answers from the red and blue analysis. Might take 3 to 4 days. Now, after that, you're fully prepared to take on the recent papers. Now, when you do the recent paper with all the red and blue behind your mind and all the red and blue absorbed here, you are in a far better position to improve the quality of your answer in the recent 6 papers. And when you send that for review to your tutor, you will get a better feedback. And even you will do the same way the ACCA June 25 mock. But please ensure that you're doing every paper after reading the 2 latest examiner reports the way I told you, and each of the 6 paper, including the mock exam for June 25 under time management. 6 most recent papers, I told you what they are from September 22 to December 24 on the ACCA practice platform. You're practicing them right there, getting feedback on your answers from the tutor, whichever tutor you are connected with. Do ACCA mock for the June when it is published. 14 days or 15 days before the actual exam settings, or probably I think in the first week of May, it will be available. Get feedback on the mock. focus a lot on improving your professional skills. I'll be doing a session on professional skills as well for my YouTube channel. I'll be guiding students about how you can do excellence in professional skills. I've already done a video on that for the March exam, so you can catch on that on my YouTube channel as well. Because at the end of the day, the ability to score from those 20 professional marks is a deciding factor between passing and failing too. Follow the tutor advice. Enroll for a crash course, particularly if you failed in 40, because the crash course would give you a mock facility, feedback, getting connected with tutor, following the tutor advices, sending your papers for review, following up the June 25 webinar coming in. I will be doing the March June 24 paper. I will be reading through the March June 24 examiner report and lots of exam tips, plus my exclusive previous webinars I've done where I've solved all the recent papers from September 22 to December 24 as part of my crash course. So if you want to enroll for that and you believe that can really benefit you in passing the upcoming exam, just do WhatsApp me at my given number, which is +92 333 238 3442. And that's my personal number as Kashif Kamran. So I hope this strategy of asking yourself and the strategy of spending time around examiner reports with the red and blue analysis and moving onwards will definitely be contributing to your success in the upcoming exams. I hope you got questions to your frequently asked questions, and you will now approach things with more clear focus. And I wish you all the best of luck and success for the June 25 triple exams. Still any question, just reach me on WhatsApp. Take care, goodbye, and Allah Hafiz.